The president-elect's cabinet beginning to take shape 1 week after his victory. Our Eamon Javers is near Mar-a-Lago in Florida this morning with the latest. Morning, Eamon.
Yeah, good morning to you, Carl. We're starting to get a picture now of the national security side of this administration with the expected nomination now of Florida Senator Marco Rubio as Secretary of State. Rubio, obviously a one-time Trump opponent who is now very close with the president-elect. Rubio, a China hawk, a skeptic on Ukraine. His views line up directly with Donald Trump's views, and that's why he is expected to be chosen here. Also, Congressman Mike Waltz, a former Green Beret, and somebody who's also a China hawk, now expected to be the national security advisor in Trump 2 in the White House. And Kristi Noem, the South Dakota governor, is now expected to be named to the Department of Homeland Security as the secretary there. She'll be somebody who was on the short list for vice president, not selected there, but now will be a key player in overseeing the Department of Homeland Security. Obviously, border and immigration issues will be central to her future. She will be in charge of implementing the Trump agenda there. All of the picks here, guys, suggest a very hawkish administration in terms of China, very hawkish in terms of domestic policy on immigration as well. And that is as advertised. That's how Donald Trump ran, and that is clear, the signal that we're getting from Mar-a-Lago. That is how he will govern. We're expecting the former president and future president to head to Washington tomorrow to meet with Joe Biden and with House and Senate Republican leaders. And we'll see whether we get any other new names on the economic side later in the day today, guys.
Eamon, I hate to, well, I don't hate to ask this. You know, though the speculation's already started. Rubio leaves the Senate from Florida. Who is appointed by, I guess, DeSantis to take that seat?
Right.
And there's been no shortage of speculation that the person's name will have a end with a Trump.
Look, anything's possible, right? Anything is possible. Donald Trump controls this party in a way that we just haven't seen a president control a political party, you know, maybe in our lifetimes. So we'll see. I would imagine that DeSantis will do what Trump asks on that, but there's been a lot of speculation about a lot of names from down here in Florida. Not exactly clear which way he'll go, but it does open up that vacancy, and that becomes something else you can speculate about.
Now, Eamon, the greatest China
The other
hawk
question, guys, is...
Go ahead.
I was just going to throw out, Jim, sorry to interrupt. The other question here in terms of the China hawks being appointed to this administration, and you have at the same time Elon Musk at Mar-a-Lago, at the president-elect's side. You know, there's some interesting cross currents there with Elon Musk's business in China. You could argue he's got a big conflict of interest when it comes to China. At the same time, Trump appointing all these China hawks to positions of real power. Will Elon Musk be sort of a moderating force on Trump in terms of China, or is he just out of those conversations and into the domestic policy piece? We just don't know at this point.
Well, I tell you, moderating force I'm not seeing yet. But where's the great China opponent, the greatest hawk of all? Where's Peter Navarro?
I have not seen him. We're eyes out for everybody down here. I have not seen Navarro. I would expect that he will play a role in this administration. I mean, Donald Trump appreciates political loyalty and personal loyalty, and Navarro has certainly shown that during the course of his stint in jail, serving sort of defiantly as somebody who is defending this president. And I think that he will be rewarded somehow in this administration. The question is where. And some of the top jobs are already going, so maybe he'll be at a lower tier level. But he's somebody who has a terrific way of working his way into the Oval Office and being part of all those conversations.